Like Kid Cudi will be testifying in Diddy's trial later this week, likely not tomorrow, but possibly Thursday. Now remember, this goes back to Cassie's relationship with Kid Cudi, which happened in 2011. He said she had to get a burner phone in order to contact him, but Diddy found out when he saw an email on her computer. She testified that he allegedly physically assaulted her, threatened that he would release the tapes, and he also said that he would have her and Kid Cudi harmed, but he would make sure it happened when he was out of the country.
Yeesh. Guys, this right now is the most recent breaking news, and we're talking about Kid Cudi testifying in the Diddy case. Almost every single journalist and attorney who's been following this case, I'm talking about people who've actually been in the courtroom, did not see this coming. What does this mean? Well, people will be taking a closer look to the whole situation where Diddy allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car. There's a few things there. One being intent to actually delete someone else. If that's proven, I'm sure he could get put away for that. And that would strengthen the trafficking accusation because now you're using force and intimidation, right? That's what I would assume. And secondly, was he actually trying to kill somebody for real? I don't know. We'll find out.
And we also heard earlier this morning from Cassie's mom how Cassie had sent her this email saying that Diddy was threatening to release her tapes. We also heard how Diddy threatened Cassie's mom for $20,000, saying he wanted to be recouped what he spent on Cassie because she was now allegedly in another relationship. Now, we had already learned about his car blowing up years ago, but we had learned from Cassie's testimony that there was a meeting after the fact between Diddy, Cassie, and Kid Cudi, and when Kid Cudi tried to ask Diddy said the meeting was over. So when Kid Cudi takes a stand later this week, we are likely going to hear new details that back up this timeline, and I will definitely be covering all of it.
Wow. All right, so I want to cover something real quick because recently somebody asked me a question that I was just really shocked. And every day I'm faced with the harsh reality that we all have our strong biases. Myself, you, we all do. My thing is this, when it comes to this case, I'm like, okay, when I read Diddy and crew try to blow up or blew up allegedly Kid Cudi's car, and they use this shit right here. You guys have seen this stuff. Like in movies where they have type of storyline where it's like an Armageddon, end of the world type situation, people rioting. You see people throw this shit. On TV, they actually use this allegedly to do this to Kid Cudi's car. Now, back to the question somebody asked me in my comment section. They said, hey, Chisha, you've said that you think Diddy's a monster. Right now, probably an old man who gets to reflect on his life. But his general trend of character at the height of his career, they were like, why do you say that? Can you give me reasons? Here's one. And also the fact that when the mother said that Diddy reached out to him after Cassie started to date Kid Cudi and asked to be reimbursed because Cassie was in a relationship with another man, $20,000. And if they didn't, he was going to release one of her videos. And they had to like put a lien on the house and take out the equity and go through a bunch of hoops because they did not have the money just to protect their daughter. I'm like, Exhibit A. If someone in my family, a cousin, a woman said, there's this guy I'm dating and he's doing shit like this, I would say, oh yeah, you're dating a monster. Yes, Diddy's a monster. It doesn't have to just be about the sexual stuff. Aside from all the sexual deviant shit that he's into, there's also shit like this. And after the mother told her testimony, the defense didn't even have any questions to try and counter, or at least right now, what she said in her testimony. Which has me leaning towards assuming that that whole blackmail story might actually be facts. But we'll wait till Kid Cudi, of course, takes the stand.
Imagine getting an email from your daughter saying that her partner is threatening to release explicit tapes with her on Christmas Day. That's exactly what Regina Ventura, Cassie's mom, told the jury happened in December 2011. Cassie's mom is on the stand, and I'm an attorney and I read what happened, so you don't have to. So let's break it down. Regina testified that Cassie emailed her under the alias Veronica Bang, warning that Combs had threatened to release 2 tapes of her and physically harm both her and Kid Cudi. He actually said he'd be out of the country when it happened, the email read. Regina testified, the tapes threw me. I knew he was going to try to hurt my daughter. Around the same time, Combs allegedly reached out to Regina asking for $20,000 to recoup for the amount of money that he spent on Cassie. Regina testified that her and her husband took out a home equity loan to provide Combs the money. I was scared for my daughter's safety, Regina testified. They wired the money to Combs' bad boy account, and then a few days later, with no explanation, it was sent back to them. Jurors were also shown photos that Regina alleged that she took of Cassie back in December 2011 that showed various bruises. She told me that she was beaten by Sean Combs, Regina testified, adding that this was the first time that her daughter ever revealed anything like this. Fast forward to 2016, and Regina visited Cassie for her birthday, where she got into an argument with Combs outside of Cassie's apartment after Combs allegedly stole her phone. I was yelling, screaming, trying to hit him, she testified. I even called the police. Eventually, Combs gave back her phone, but took Cassie's car. Regina is now off the stand, and in a rare move, the defense has no questions, so the prosecution is moving on to their next witness.
Interesting. And that's what I was talking about. So last point. I see a lot of people also saying that they are slightly disappointed with the lack of drama when it comes to this case. What do I mean? At one point, I'm sure a lot of people thought if you were to put people on the stand when it came to the Diddy trial, you would have the most salacious and disturbing, graphically disturbing stories about freak-offs, crazy parties. The only problem is you don't hear any other celebrities being mentioned other than Diddy and these male escorts. And these male escorts said he would like to watch smash Cassie, and then after they're done finishing, he would like rub, the stuff on his chest. It's just really disgusting stuff. But I see that conversation coming up over and over again. The people thought that this thing was a lot bigger. Now, you could say, bro, they're paying him off, bro, we can all, in the court of conspiracy, which sometimes I attend that court, there's some conspiracies that are true. We could think and assume that all these people are just somehow getting off some way. Sure. As for me, I have to have a pretty good grip in observable reality. And I too am a bit surprised at the lack of celebrities we're hearing involved in all these freak-offs. That's that. Of course, I'm curious to know what you guys think. I think this isn't a good look for Diddy, and he is. And from the looks of it, if they're able to prove that he actually tried to blow up that car or actually intended to delete anybody, it doesn't even have to be Kid Cudi. Or on top of that, even arson, right, is something that they could charge him for. He's pretty cooked. Of course, guys, curious to know what you think. And listen, to my men who are soon to be married, currently engaged, or maybe you're proposing soon, if you need a prenuptial agreement but don't know where to start, head over to fathershaverights.com. That's fathershaverights.com, and access our guide, which shows you how to get a prenup from point A to point Z before you hire your attorney. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.